Hi everyone, I am Lerato Tshabalala. I'm the Editor-in-Chief of Your Luxury Africa, and I'm excited about my conversation today. We are talking about the Bold Woman Awards. They are entering South Africa for the 5th time now, so you have no excuse to not put your business forward. If you're a woman entrepreneur, it is a must that you do this. And I'm excited today because I'm gonna have my first but of many conversations with the one and only President and CEO of Veuve Clicquot, Thomas Mulliez.
Really perfect. Hello, Lerato.
Oh, oui, oui, merci.
Nice meeting you.
Lovely meeting you too, Thomas. We're talking about the Bold Women Awards, and before I speak to Thomas, I just want to say the importance of these awards. Women like Amanda Dambuza, Murongwa Mukone from Mo's Crib have won these awards, and they've been in South Africa for the past 5 years. They look at women who are in emerging businesses and women who are already established. And it's not only funding, but it's an incredible award that has been going on for more than 50 years. And the reason why I want to start with that, I want to say, don't be scared by the word bold, okay? This award is for women who are entrepreneurs, socially conscious, women who are doing things. So I hope from your perspective that you don't count yourself out, that next year and the year after, that you put yourself forward or another woman that you know forward for the Veuve Bold Women Awards. So that is my call to action to you first. Remember also, it's Women's Month next month. Get in gear, like support other women, because this is what we do. But anyway, after that, I want to just say, hi Thomas, how are you?
Very well. Hi, Lerato. Very nice being here with you.
So nice being with you. First of all, before we talk about the Bold Women Awards, have you been to South Africa before?
Yes, of course.
And do you love it?
Yes. You know, I came specifically for the Bold Women Awards this time from Paris. I just arrived this morning because, first of all, I love this country. It's my 4th time here, and
oh, wow.
I didn't want to miss the award because, as I tell you, I think it's a wonderful country. I think the women entrepreneurship in this country is amazing. And this is a very important moment for us and for our brand in South Africa. So I didn't want to miss it.
It's amazing. Now, before we get into it, can we talk a little bit about your role as the president and CEO of Veuve Clicquot?
What's my role?
Yeah, just your role.
That's a good question.
Like what it entails for people who don't know.
When you run a maison which is more than 250 years old, I think your role is making sure that the way you will leave it when I move on is still in a better shape than the way I got it and inherited it. And I have to make sure that it's still there for the next generation. So I see myself more as someone who is receiving and transmitting to the others, receiving this heritage, this know-how, this way of things, but also making it modern, live for the current generations.
Oh, that's a really great answer. What I love is that you kind of embody the things that I love about Veuve just by saying all of that. Like, obviously we're all here because of Madame Clicquot, who was only 27. If when you think about it, to be a widow at 27 in the 1700s and to do something so incredible and groundbreaking was just, she must have been like a force to reckon with, right? And it makes me think, when you hear that, you think, that woman is bold. But in your view, what makes a bold entrepreneur, especially because this award is geared at women? And I wanted to start with the word bold, to not people feel like we need to be gregarious or, the most outstanding person out there. In your view, what makes a bold woman entrepreneur?
I think first it starts with having a vision. And many people can have a vision.
Yeah.
And having a vision does not mean that it has to be, as you say, crazy and you have to fight against all the others. It's just you have an idea and a vision. And that's for me the most important thing of the boldness, is to have a vision, an idea. You have this notion as well of courage, resilience in what you do, and the audacity. You know, you tried something where others maybe would not have gone. And that's exactly what you were describing, what Madame Clicquot has done. Because if you think it through, back in 1705, something like this. No, it's 1805.
Okay.
The Maison was created in 1772.
But she took it over,
exactly,
yes,
she
correct,
took it over
yes.
from her husband in 1805. She was 27 years old, and at that time, you know, women were not allowed to run companies. We're not even allowed to have a bank account.
We didn't even vote until the 1920s.
Yeah, well, in France, it's even later. It's 1945. Yeah. So she had this vision that she could bring. People were telling us, no, you just have sell the company. But she said, no, I have this thing. I want to do it. I have some ideas. And actually, she did not only develop the company. She came with innovations that still today, all the Champagne region is benefiting from what she invented.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about innovation and you talk about, you mentioned a word that I love, which is audacity. I've made audacity my word of the year. I have a word each year. And audacity is one of those, because I feel like women are afraid to take up spaces, especially like in a African context, right? You think like we are told to be humble, etc. So when you think of the awards in South Africa, and this is the fifth year. I've been lucky enough to attend them for I think 4 of those 5 years. And the commitment to keep coming back, to show up for South Africa. Why are we as a country, and then maybe broadly as a continent, important to the Veuve Clicquot story when it comes to the Bold Women Awards?
I think there are different answers to your question. First, you know, we've put in place a few years ago a barometer where we measure in many important countries the way you know, men and women answer to entrepreneurship, how important it is to them or not. And what we found out is that in South Africa, almost 2/3 of women declare themselves as being entrepreneurs or willing to be entrepreneurs.
Wow.
So you can, and it's one of the most high-ranking country in the one we measured. So there is something special about women entrepreneurship in South Africa that we can see. But what we see as well, what we find out is that, and that's the purpose of this award at the end, is that what they miss is the courage, the audacity to go for it. And what this award is bringing is visibility. It shows them that, yes, when you see other people doing it, you say, why not me?
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of this award. You know, it's not only for the people who will win the award, which for them is great, but it's to give the others the will to go for it. And that's what we're really fighting for.
And what I like is that it's also across industries, right? I think last year we had Ratang from Sitsong Teas, which I actually use at home. So it's different. And then I think a year before it was Morongwe with Mo's Crib. So it's across industries. And I've seen that this year it's like anything from AI to manufacturing and even beauty. So I'm interested in your view, like, what do you think this says about like African entrepreneurship when you're actually thinking of the contestants, the finalists this year?
You know, people, I think when people think of innovation, audacity, everyone today has in mind maybe technology, stuff like this.
Yes.
But what this award shows is that you know, you can be an entrepreneur in any sector. What's important is to have an idea and to have, again, the audacity, the vision to go for it. And that's what it proves. And what it shows us as well is that in Africa there is room for entrepreneurship in all sectors, in all kind of economies. And that's because there are still lots of possibilities in many sectors of the industry.
Yeah, I think that is so important to note, right? Because I think people sometimes count themselves out because they think, oh, I need to be into the latest tech thing. But ultimately, like what I've learned is that people who do well in business are people who solve social problems, that most businesses come from a pain point that you have to kind of address through your business. And I think that talks to purpose. And I know that purpose is a huge thing for the Maison, particularly when it comes to the Bold Women Awards. So how do you look at sort of, when you are judging, how much does the purpose of the business count?
You're right. It's one of the most important things. I think there are different aspects in what the jury, assess. There is this kind of personality that we're judging. Is she somehow a legacy of Madame Clicquot? Could she be a new Madame Clicquot? That's one of the things. So does she have a vision? Does she have this resilience? Does she have this audacity? But there is also this social aspect of the purpose. What impact will I have on society, on the others, which is important. We're not looking for projects of people who are just going to launch a new AI or something with no impact on the society. I think it's, and that's why it also resonates very well with South Africa, because we want also projects that give back to communities what people might have received, because we feel proud as a maison of what we have inherited 250 years ago, and part of our mission, our mission as Clicquot is to bring joy and optimism to the world, which I think is a good mission.
Yes,
it's a lucky one. But and part of it comes by giving back for what we've received, and that's also what we're looking for the project we have, the one that will bring something to the people.
Now I'm going to veer off script and just ask you, just because you triggered something in my mind, and I thought to myself, actually should ask you about this. What do you think of this year's entries? Obviously, I don't know anything. I'm just interviewing you, and obviously I'll find out later tonight who's won. But for the people who are watching us, what can you say about this year's finalists?
I think, as you said, they come from very different sectors, which I think is great, because it witnesses the diversity of where entrepreneurship can come from. So going back to your point, to candidate to Bold, you don't need to be a fighter, and you don't need to come from a specific industry. I think what's important is your personality and the purpose of the cause you're defending, and the vision you have for it. So they're coming from different industries. They have different backgrounds, but they all have in common the same thing. They all have this vision, this optimism, this resilience as well, which made them where they are.
I'm excited to actually, especially because you speak to see.
I won't spoil it.
I can see that you're not going to give me anything. But nice try, though. It's nice to try.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. You're being bold.
I'm a journalist. I'm being bold.
You're being bold.
Thank you. That's exactly. Speaking of bold, the award is, it acknowledges there's a bold woman and there's bold future.
Yeah.
So it's acknowledging people who are established. So I know in South Africa, Amanda Dambuza was one of the first, and she's very well established. But then, somebody like Murongwe, who runs Mo's Crib, also has an opportunity. Why was it important to look at every part of the growth of the business when you're looking at these awards in terms of emerging and established women entrepreneurs?
Again, I think if you look at it, the final aim of this award is to inspire people. So you have to show to young women or others that there is room for them, and that they can believe in their project, and that you don't have to have already an established business to be a bold and to be a successful entrepreneur. You can have a small idea, and then you can make it grow.
Yeah.
And so it really shows that, first of all, it's a journey. You don't have it from one day to the other. You don't become successful. It takes time, like in any project, I believe. But that there is room to celebrate successes at each stages of the project, of the journey.
I think it's so crucial to say that, because I think when you hear Veuve and you hear bold women, you think, oof,
it's too much.
It's too much. Yeah. And that's why I wanted at the start to just remind everyone that it's also you. You don't know if you might be up for this award.
Yeah.
You just have to try.
Yeah.
Another one that's a little bit off script, but I thought maybe it might be nice to make people kind of excited. I have seen people go to Champagne and Plant. Could you kind of give us a sense of what actually comes with the award, especially because it's a huge network of these women. I think it might be great to kind of
absolutely
get people excited.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're, as I said, I think to the people who get the award, it gives them visibility. Sometimes you can give them, which comes, with sometimes funding, because I think one of the things that women miss as well is the access to funding. So through this award, it gives us a visibility that will maybe eventually give them access to funding. So that's a positive side effect. And the third one is actually, as you mentioned, the network that you get access to. And the award has been existing for the last 54 years. Yep. It's now in more than 25 countries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And and we have a bold database where we have the database of all the winners, all the people that have applied, and they all have access to this database. So they have access to a network of people all across the world who can be in their industry, in other industries. They can get in touch with them, and that's a wonderful and very powerful tool. And as you mentioned, cherry on the cake, you can come and visit Champagne, the roots of where everything started. Discover this wonderful region, and also there meet other people, understand where it's coming from, the roots of Champagne, of what Madame Clicquot did, and also extend your network outside of your home country, basically.
I think it's so poignant that instead of just going to the country, giving the award, and saying goodbye, you kind of give people a sense of their maison, but also this huge network of women. Because as you said, it's over, I think it's in over 27, I think it's 27 countries.
27 countries, correct.
27 countries. And I think it's been like more than 500 women that have been
awarded.
Awarded over the...
And I think every year we receive 10,000 applications worldwide.
10,000
we engage
worldwide.
with 10,000 women.
Whoa. That's a big number.
Yeah.
And do you kind of then sort of splice it after that to take it down to like 500 and then the final?
It's done country by country.
Okay.
But eventually, I think every country ends up with 6 finalists for each award. So you can make the maths. It's more 150 eventually in the finals.
Sure, that's something else.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a lot of women. And look, listen, this is an unfair question, but over the years...
Oh my God, what are you going to ask me?
Have there been, because it's like asking someone who's your favorite child, but have there been like stories over the years that have stuck with you where either, you can mention more than one person, they don't necessarily have to be from South Africa, but has there been a story where somebody kind of stuck with you through the years? Like I said, it's an unfair question, but it'll be interesting to know.
I think 2 would pop up to my mind.
Okay.
First one, there is this woman in France who's been awarded the prize, I think it was maybe 2018 or something like that. And I recently had breakfast with her and a group of French women who had the award the past years. And she's so into it. And on LinkedIn, the first thing she writes is bold woman.
Wow.
To her, it's not, she's our best ambassador worldwide we could have. And you witness how important and what it means to her. So that really struck me when a story and the impact it had on her life. And she tells you that she can tell you the impact that it had twice on her life for the business. First one when she had to develop it, and recently when she had to sell it. And the fact that she, thanks to the bold, what immediate impacts it had on her life. So that's quite amazing when you see it. And the second one is a woman you mentioned from South Africa, which I met her recently at Roland Garros because she was invited to...
Yes, I loved her stories. I was stalking her Instagram.
And and also discussing with her all the story of the articles she crafts and stuff was quite inspiring as well. So that's 2 different stories from 2 different countries, but that's 2 examples for me of what it, the impacts it have on the life of those women.
I think what I find interesting is that the first lady, even though you said she sold her business.
Yes.
Even that move to sell your business is a bold move within itself, because we always want to hold on to stuff, you know, and to kind of think, oh, I can do something else. I can sell this business. And that's because I've been emboldened by these awards. I mean, it's incredible. So those are great examples.
No, it's very powerful, you know. You have to live it from inside to understand. And when you listen to those women who explain you what this award has changed in their lives, you're really touched, honestly. And it gives you the will to continue to develop it further.
In a way, you're kind of segueing to what was going to be my next question, because you've looked after markets in Europe, EMEA, I think the Caribbean.
Yes, Caribbean just started.
As well, yeah. And now that it's going kind of global, what do you think that us as South African female entrepreneurs have to offer in this kind of global conversation? Because I think sometimes what happens with African people is that when you hear that somebody is from another country, you start feeling like, oh my God, I haven't lived overseas, I haven't done these things. But I have a belief that everyone has something to offer. Like all of us have something to offer. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, also so excited about the international awards. Thank you for the exclusive. What do you think we bring to the table as not only South African entrepreneurs, but African entrepreneurs in this global conversation?
It's obvious to me. You know, every time I come to Africa, it's either South Africa or any country in Africa, the first thing that strikes me is the energy and the positivity as well. You know, when you come from Europe, people are depressed in Europe. They have everything, but they're depressed.
Sorry, you're making me laugh, Thomas. I didn't mean to laugh.
But here, you know, you can feel this, positivity, energy. So that's something huge. You can bring
I think the
to the
optimism
world.
is something that we need, right? Because we're when it comes to business, we're still growing. We're not like an established, we're not like the West. So I think optimism helps you in business because...
Yeah, but it's fundamental.
Yeah, because sometimes it can be rough and you need to be able to have like the...
Yeah, but I think there is in Africa this, you know, this energy, this optimism that, you know, everything is still possible, and that even though it's tough, it's very tough, it's much tougher than most of the people probably go through in you know, in the Western countries. There is this belief, this energy that you can do more and that you will do more. So that's great, and I think that's something people from the West need to learn as well and to hear, because I think they've kind of forgotten this.
I'm excited to see these awards get global and to actually see what kind of bridges the Maison is going to build across different continents, because it's something else to be part of the network, but to actually meet the people, to sit with them, to how does it function, maybe even across industries. You know, you could have somebody in the Caribbean working with somebody in South Africa around beauty. I think this is really incredible.
Exactly. You know, we already had 2 touch points internationally, if you want. First one was through the bold database that I mentioned, you know, where people can have access. And the second one, we were invited, I think it was every second year or every 3 years, some winners to Champagne among themselves and to have 2-3 days where they would meet. But it was not, you know, was not through any awards, through an award, through a moment there where they could share, where they could, you know, where it could be also advertised for the others. Because again, coming back to what I said initially, the purpose of this award eventually is still to show to the others that it's possible and that they should pursue their dreams and their projects, because there is to get inspired. So I think if we make it visible, we can still inspire the next generations. And that's the idea.
I commend that completely. Like, it's incredible. So when we started at the top of the conversation, we spoke about the innovation that the Maison is known for, thanks to Madame Clicquot. And I'm interested to find out from you how the Bold Women Awards sort of facilitate and complement some of the strategic moves and sort of the brand DNA around Veuve Clicquot.
You know, I think it's part of our DNA, and we're just expressing it today in the way Madame Clicquot probably expressed it her way 250 years ago. You know, because she had all we're trying to bring through this award is what she's done 250 years ago. So we are kind of making this legacy still alive through this award. You know, Champagne is not well known for innovating because it's a very controlled, strict, exactly, appellation. You cannot do whatever you want. She did it 250 years ago when it's still possible. So what we do through this award is to show that it's been done possible. She did it in Champagne, and that, you know, people can do it, as we were mentioning, in any type of industry, and that even long-standing products or categories started all by an innovation at the beginning, and it has to start with that. So people shouldn't be afraid to launch something or to innovate, because who knows, you know, maybe within the 10,000 people we're engaging, there is a new Madame Clicquot, future Madame Clicquot.
That's exciting, isn't it? That's super exciting. Yeah. Why is this important to you, this award in particular? And I mean it because as a man, you do not necessarily have to push these certain things. I know around the world is, oh, we need to do more, but from your perspective, not even as a president and CEO, even as a human being, why are these awards necessary in society, particularly right now in the world that we live in? Because I know you have the business sense of it, and I think you also have the human sense of why it's important to empower women in this way.
You know, I'm a father of 4 children. I only have 1 girl. And 3 boys. And
is she the last or the first?
She's the second one.
Okay.
But I can see how difficult it is for a woman to emerge, and it starts very young. Actually, there are some studies in France that prove that it starts when they're 6 years old at school. The way they teach maths to the young boys and girls is not the same. You know,
it's different.
And although the teachers are mostly women, so it starts. I think it's rooted very, very deeply. So we have to do everything we can to change it. And so yeah, I think it's a small contribution to big things that needs to evolve. But we know it takes time. But again, it's this kind of stories who inspire and who make things change. So it's a small stone to a big thing that needs to be done.
It kind of reminds me of even the language that we use. I saw a video once, I mean, you may have seen it too on the internet, where they ask male CEOs the kind of questions they would ask a female CEO, like, oh, your tie is so nice, you know. And I think even our language in terms of how we look at women leaders needs to change. And I think the word bold immediately is in your face. And I think you have to be in business. You kind of have to be in people's faces. In your view, what does that word mean, bold? Once again, another unfair question, because it could be open. But in terms of like, why being bold is important in business. Maybe let me reframe it like that. Why is that important to be bold?
There are also some studies that prove that when applying to a job, men will apply to a job where they feel they are 80% qualified for the job, where women will apply only when they believe they are 110% qualified for the job. So bold for me is that, you know, maybe I'm not sure I'm going to make it, but I'm going to go for it.
Because you don't always have to have the business plan done, the money thing,
you can try.
Yeah, exactly. You can try.
And failure is not an issue.
I always say failure is my friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one has ever died from failure.
No.
I don't know a single person that has died from failure. And I think we learn nothing from our successes. Like, actually, we learn the most things.
Yes, of course.
From like
Of course.
struggling and
But I think
failing.
it's really a mindset that we need to bring to each young girl when she's born. That she's allowed to dream, she's allowed to fail, she's allowed to think big, and that's being bold.
Yeah, I have a niece, and for her first birthday, I bought her a truck, and my mom was like, "Why?" I was like, "I don't want her to think that being a girl means this is what you do. It should be whatever you want to do." So I'm trying to do that through my own thinking as well. So I'm not sure if you know, Thomas, but August is Women's Month.
Yes, in South Africa.
In South Africa. We celebrate it on August the 9th, but it's actually throughout the entire month. And I wonder if you kind of have any, I don't want to say thoughts, because obviously you're not South African, so I'm not trying to push you into a corner, but like, why do you think, because then there's also International Women's Month in April, I think.
It's in March, no? March 8th.
Yeah, I think you're right, March 8th. Jesus, you're a man and you know it. Hide. Why are days like this important, not only in South Africa, but globally, to commemorate the presence of the feminine in our lives?
It's a wake-up call for everyone. I think it's a way to remind things. That's all. Unfortunately, we still need it, but
it is unfortunate that we still need it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, because there is no Man's Day.
No.
But I guess, as you said, in France, people were not voting until the 1940s, and the reason why we're Women's Day is because in 1956, a couple of women decided, actually, I don't want this. I need to vote, and went to the union buildings. And now I'm able to vote because of those actions that they took, because of their boldness,
Yeah.
I think my last question to you is going to be about the fact that the Maison's turning 250, as you told me now.
Madame Clicquot.
Madame Clicquot, excuse me. Yeah, Madame
would
Clicquot.
turn 250 next year.
So where do you see the future of the Maison going forward? Will there be some celebrations to commemorate this? And just from you strategically, if there's anything exciting you want to tell us that is coming up?
As I told you, our mission is to bring joy and optimism to the world, and I think we are well known for what we like to call our solaire art de vivre, art of living. What we do, the way we express our brand. So that's the territory we own and the one we want to keep. And as far as next year is concerned, yes, we want to, of course, celebrate Madame Clicquot partly through this bold International Bold Woman Award. But another thing, and the product is not well known in South Africa, because obviously it's a French world, but at the end of her life, she was bold when she started, innovative, and at the end of her life, she has been named by her peers in Champagne, La Grande Dame de Champagne, so the Great Lady of Champagne. And actually, our prestige cuvée is named La Grande Dame,
which I love.
Yeah, it's a fantastic product.
It is really
Unfortunately,
fantastic.
it's not well known enough.
Yeah.
And we want to kind of use as well this to make people know more about this product and make the link so that people understand that it's a journey. And even for Madame Clicquot, it's been a journey. She started as a bold woman, resilient, fighting, and then she was recognized by her peers at the end of her life. And so we have some, ideas of how we are gonna tell her story, because what we find out is that people don't know that much the story of Madame Clicquot, but every time we say it, people are really inspired by the story. And through this story, make it also more alive through, more recent stories of people who also somehow have been inspired by her or by more other kind of women who somehow were also grand dames of this world.
I think why I love this so much in particular is, as a middle-aged woman, what happens as we get older is that we disappear. in the world. People don't see us. You kind of think you have to hide into the background. And I remember 2 years ago when I first tasted the Grand Dame, which I'd never before, and I'd been drinking beer for a very long time. I remember thinking, why don't more people know about this? And I think it's great to actually be like, we're celebrating this amazing lady, and you can still do stuff in your, I think Oprah didn't become a billionaire until she was in her 40s.
Yeah.
That it's like never too late to actually
Of course.
turn your life around. So I'm interested to see how that story is going to be.
Yeah, you kind of celebrate
threaded.
the accomplishment through this product, I think.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I know I have to release you to get ready for the Bold Women Awards. What should I expect? Should I be excited about later?
I'm sure you will be excited. Again, nice try to get the winner. Won't succeed again.
You're really good.
But
you're
I'm
really
sure
good at
you're going to
catching
have
me
a
out.
very inspiring and exciting evening. And again, I'm very happy to be here, to have made the trip to South Africa to be there, because it's a very important moment, and I think all these women deserve this great moment and award. So I'm very happy to be here.
I'm excited for myself because I am planning a trip to Champagne, and I've never been to Veuve Clicquot.
Well, you're invited. Please let me know when you're coming.
I definitely will.
I will receive you, and I will walk you through the steps of Madame Clicquot, and we'll open a bottle of Grand Dame together.
Oh God! Can I fast forward? Thomas, thank you so much. Like for me, as somebody who loves the brand, to actually meet the people behind it, to see how much it gives back to my community as a Black African woman, to see how consistently you plow into this campaign, even the type of women that you choose. For me, when I buy this brand, I buy it with an open heart, because I kind of know your mission and what you're doing. And I'm looking forward to seeing the nominees and the finalists. And I think even if people don't win, I've noticed throughout the years, just to be a finalist is incredible in these awards. And from me, as a South African, from our publication, you know, we are South Africa's #1 luxury publication. We just don't talk luxury for nothing. We do it because of brands like you. So I just want to thank you, Thomas, for being here, for spearheading the Bold Women Awards. I want to see more of it. Please continue. And also thank you for this fantastic conversation.
No,
you were like amazing. Hopefully this will be like the first of many, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to get less nervous as I do it.
Looking forward to welcoming you in Champagne as well.
It's going to be amazing.
Fantastic.
Guys, that was like one of my favorite interviews of all time. This is the president and CEO of Veuve Clicquot. No, I'm not being pretentious, that's how it's pronounced. Please, as I said at the top, enter these awards. They are super important. You also get access to this network. And as you heard from Thomas, it's actually going to be an international network. So even though you're an introvert like me, or you think your business is small, you have to do it, because it could change your life. So from me and Thomas, we will see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.